Hello YouTube, Xisuma here with another episode of Xisuma's World. So I'm taking this right from where the last episode ended, and I haven't uploaded that yet, so I will be answering all your questions about the animal breeding machine later in the video. And what I'm going to do is continue with the testing and try and load some more mushrooms in here, and then we'll get round to building the breeding bay. Okay, so loading this thing has turned into somewhat of a disaster. I got about 4 of them onto this side and started putting them into minecarts, but it seems like these other guys just wanted to wander straight up here and get stuck in the machine. So now I've got to break it apart, somehow get them out, and already they've nudged this guy over here and this one as well. And what was the other problem? Yeah, we've got one in this one here and one over here. I just couldn't get my head around it because I pressed the button and this guy didn't go up and over into the next cell. No, sorry, this guy didn't move, and that's because these cows must have been pushing them when they were around. Sorry, cows, mushrooms. And look, another one climbed up. So I'm going to have to somehow find a way to fix all this. Okay, I've got the other 3 cows into minecarts, and I'm really sure that I had one more cow, and I've been looking around and I can't find it anywhere. I don't think it's... perhaps it's crawled under here, no. So, yeah, the best way to load these things up is 2 at a time, and make sure that your mushrooms or whatever it is you're putting in your breeding machine don't go off wandering, otherwise, yeah, it will get messed up. So, I have no idea what's going to happen next, but I've got a feeling that this is probably going to go wrong, so let's see what happens when we press the button. This guy didn't want to move. And okay, so these 2 are working. That one over there. So we, oh, damn it! Yeah, this is another annoying thing. I could actually put in some blocks and make this so I can walk around. I don't know why I haven't done that actually. But what I can't do is break the redstone because it needs to be on. So I've got to find a way out of here. Okay, I got this one out, and what was strange is that it wasn't in the minecart despite being pushed in there. I'm going to have to probably watch the footage back and try and figure out what exactly went on there. But we've got 2 to put on each side, and we've got 2 here and 1 over here. So I'm going to have to rotate them and put them in smartly so that we can get them in groups again. And I've also added this wall up the top here so I can walk down like this and look at everything and just make sure not to fall in these holes. Okay, I've wired the button up to the top here so I can access it whilst doing this, and we're going to rotate them. No wait, these cells are going to go, they're going to go into this one here, so should probably get off the tracks as well. There we go. Once more. And once more again, and now we need to get one on that side, so those 2 are going to be a pair again. And this shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, I just realised why we had trouble a moment ago. I didn't put them in properly, and I thought I'd see if it worked or not, because it's only a small chance that they don't, and that's why they all got messed up thinking about it. Perhaps it wasn't the mushrooms moving around. Okay, it looked like they were about to go on top of the ones in front of them for a second then. That's not good. But anyway, let's put the next 2 in. And oh, this is can be a bit of a pain when they're this far off. Nope, there we go. And want to get this one in nice and smooth. There we go. And one on this side as well. Yep, there we go, that should be good to rotate them. Okay, again, the same thing happened, and it was these ones here. So what I'm going to do is have a look around and see if I had done the redstone correct, because these ones seem to be slightly slower. And yeah, they're half on the tracks again. This is something I never saw during testing. Okay, I'm going to have a look at that. Okay, so I've rotated them round a couple of times, and it does work with it like this. What happens is the piston pushes out the rail, they move back, and then they go back out. And because we've got the pulse lengthener on the button, it means that it will still work. However, if I log in and out like this, we could have some real trouble. So I can't identify anything different about the redstone here, but my theory is if it happens on this cell here and this one here as well, then there's some sort of well, we know about like the north-south redstone quirk. There could be something like that going on, and perhaps it's only when we build it on this one, and perhaps say every, I don't know, for example 10 blocks on one axis, that this sort of error could occur. So I'm putting it down to something like that at the moment, because I can't find any other reason why they would do this on this one cell. So I've rotated the animals once more, and now we don't have any in the cell before, so I'm going to log out and log back in. Actually I don't want to do that because we've got this guy over here to sort out first. Okay, so if you didn't know, supposedly this is sort of logout proof. Because the minecart will be moving as soon as we log back in, the mushroom is going to go into the minecart again. However, I don't like that method because sometimes it doesn't work, so let's have a look. It's not actually in the minecart, as you can see, so there you go. Anyway, let's go see what's happened over here. See, this might work if I press the button now, but let's say that we didn't press it for quite some time. The mushroom could move around and knock the minecart out of place, or anything could really happen, so this isn't going to be any sort of conclusive test. Okay, and it appeared to work, so I'll have to keep my eye on that, but hopefully that problem won't get in the way of what we're doing at the moment, and then later on I'll see if I can find a fix for it. Okay, I made the dumbest mistake. I had one more to put in and I just didn't think. I lured it over to this side, put in the minecart, and then I was like, oh, why is this not going down? And yeah, I think what I'm going to have to do is build a little platform here, break the glass, break the minecarts and get them out that way. Okay, the breeding cells are now full, and the only problem we have is with this thing here. So what I want to do next is start building up the breeding bay, and once we've done that, we've got to figure out how to do this timer to the cell here. And I was just thinking it would probably have been a good idea to test that before putting all of these in, but there you go. So yeah, let's start work on the breeding bay. So building the breeding bay up until now was going quite smoothly. You can see I've laid the tracks out slightly different from the normal machine, and what I wanted to do is have the baby go back this way, and the reason for that is wanted to do the front differently. I tried having it how we'd normally do, which is where we stand up the top, and it just felt ugly trying to put in a staircase. So I've done it like this, and we'll be able to breed them through the half slabs, and if this arrangement doesn't quite work, I'm sure we can move the half slabs about and get the right angle to breed them at. So at this point, the water at the back where the baby gets separated is becoming a problem, because I need to wire it all up, and it's going to be quite a stretch finding a place to wire the pistons together from side to side, and obviously I don't want to wire it around the front, so I might actually have to swap the water back so it comes out the front again, which might not be too bad, but the baby needs a too high gap to go through, which means it's going to come up to here, and we're going to have a roof like this, and it's going to get quite bulky at the front again. So I found a way to keep the baby coming out at the back, and it's actually just to do the redstone as normal, because we only have a 1 block high gap here, and the baby mushroom is going to be 1.5 blocks high. So we do need to place a block above the repeater on either side, and that's something I want to talk about. When testing this machine, these repeaters used to always be on full delay, and unless they were, I couldn't get it to work. And it was something to do with the timing of the fence gates opening. If it didn't have full delay, the minecart used to get pushed into the middle. And what's really strange is I copied the whole test or prototype breeding machine that I had and put it into a new world with MCEdit, and when that happened, this got set back to normal, and I never noticed until I'd finished my testing and went to make the tutorial. That's just really strange. I never figured out why that happened, but before it didn't work, and I guess I must have changed something else. So I actually want to wire this up slightly differently. What I'm thinking of doing is removing this block here and placing a repeater. So when we press this button, we're going to power this block, which will power the wire above. In fact, I'll show you that now quickly. And the piston still works. I'll move around the front so you can see. There you go. And this means that we could place a block above, put a wire on there, and then that would receive power. Ah, that's interesting. So we might not need this after all. Okay, right, I didn't expect that to happen because this here is a half slab, so it's a transparent block and it allows the redstone wire to continue. So I'm going to place that block there, and then this won't receive power. And if I do, so we place it, no. Let's try from up here. There we go. Let's see what happens now. Okay, yeah, that's the way I wanted it to work. So what we should be able to do now is run a wire up to the top here and have it come out to the front, and this means that we can have a button on this side and a button on this side. Okay, so I've added the buttons and I think I've finished the wiring for this already. It might not be in the right place that we need it, but that redstone lamp there is our extra signal that comes from one button only, and we're going to use that to add the timer to the breeding cells at the back here. So if I press this one over there, that shouldn't turn on, and hopefully we'll have a good view of it. Yeah, we can just see it from here. So there you go, it didn't turn on, and then if we press it from this side, it turns on. So the way that we've done that is we put a repeater here, and this is going to power this block, which is going to power the redstone wire behind it, underneath it, and then that will power the block that it's on and power this repeater. So everything below this block will work as normal, but it's also got a redstone wire on it leading to our redstone lamp. So then if we power it from the other side, it's just going to power the wire underneath, which won't power this block here, and that's how it works. So we have a button on this side to send the animals back, and that's only going to control the pistons and fence gate, and then we've got one on the other side to bring the animals out. So that one's going to control the pistons and fence gates, but also it's going to control this output here, and that's going to go into the machine as normal at this bit here, and that will rotate all of the animals, and it's also going to branch off and control the last cell on a timer delay. So if we were to press that button now, the animals would get rotated, these cells at the back would become free, and we'd have the animals in the breeding bay. So at that point we could press the send animals back button, and the ones in the breeding bay would get sent back up, they'd fill up the cells at the end here, and the machine would be as normal. But if we were to press the other one, we would rotate them all again, and when the ones in the breeding bay make their way up to the cells at the back here, the ones in front of them are going to be empty, and that's when the timer comes in and sends the ones here into the cell in front. So what I want to do is start building all of that, and I'm not going to put in the delay straight away. I want to start rotating the animals and watching how long it takes for them to get from here to the top, and then I'll create a redstone circuit down on the ground here that's linked up to the machine, but not into this part where the cells are, so we can just observe the timing and make sure that we can get it right before we actually implement it, because if we try and implement it straight away, we'll probably end up sending them over too quickly, or something will go wrong. So I've wired up this bit so we can start testing. It was a little bit of a puzzle, so I thought I'd show you how I figured it out. We needed the block to be this high, and we needed a block here as well to stop the baby from escaping when it comes out in the water stream. So what I did is use a half slab block, and that's transparent, so the wire has come up from the signal below, this one here, and then it's got a torch on the block. So when we press either one of the buttons, we're going to turn this torch off, which is going to turn this off for a moment and activate the machine. But what I do need to do is test that I put this in the right place. I'm pretty sure I did, so let's have a look. Yeah, they Should still be powered. The animals haven't moved. So there we go, we're ready to test the machine now. Okay, I've double checked everything, and I hope I built the breeding bay. Ah, wait a minute, I didn't build the breeding bay right. I've actually forgotten something. Okay, so I forgot to put in the painting, and I've rearranged the front a little bit. Should be still usable because this is only a 1 block gap, and the mob's going to be 1.5 high. So let's test it. What happened there? Oh, oh. I need to think for a second. Why did that not work? Is it me? Okay, I'm really confused. Right, so we had some here, they've moved forward. Then these ones have moved forward, they've moved forward. These move forward. Is that right? Why is this empty? That's what I can't get my head around. I'm gonna think off camera for a moment. Okay, so after looking back at the footage, I've realised why this has got me so spooked. So they've all rotated round, so these have gone into this one here, they've gone into the next one, and the next one, and then this one here is empty, and that's what really threw me off. But when I look back at the footage, I actually only had 5 pairs in here, and I thought I had 6. So the ones at the back were actually empty, so this is correct, and the problem lies at the front here, because these haven't come out. And I think the reason why is because the rails go level here, and they should actually go up 1 more block. So there's something going on at this point here when they pass through the block that I think stops them from leaving. So I'm going to get these 4 out, and then we're going to raise up these rails and test that. Okay, so I've got the animals contained over there, and now we can continue our testing and see if the one at the front here is going to work. Okay, so they've all rotated, that's good. And we got 1 more to this cell, and then when we press it again we'll see if they are going to come out. Okay, so here it is, moment of truth. Brilliant, okay, that appears to have fixed it. And I think what we should do now is test the breeding bay as well. There we go, into the water. Ah, there's our next problem. We've got to make it go down. I could probably do that using a sign and then some sort of drop, but I'll figure that out in a minute. Let's send these back. Wait a minute, we need to rotate through all of them so they get into the cells properly, so we can add these guys again. So we're going to do this one. And that wasn't supposed to happen. Okay. Okay, so I was just trying to change the repeater timing and maybe get these out of here, and I pressed the send back button, and the last ones in the cells came out, and I realised I made a very silly mistake of wiring this up wrong. So I've wired it from the main bit, which is how you used to wire it, but what we wanted to do is actually wire it from this wire. So as well as having to change that, I've got to fix the breeding bay, and basically it's back to square one. So I'm going to get all of the mushrooms out, put them back in this little containment area, and try and fix everything, and then we're going to test it with 2 mushrooms at a time. Okay, I've got all the mushrooms pinned in this area here, and we've got 2 left in the machine that I've been testing with. And what I did is I went and changed the repeater settings back to full, as I talked about earlier, and it works fine now. I should still probably put the blocks back across the front here and add the water to double check. So what I'm thinking has happened is when I've MC edited and copied all of this from one world into another, the repeater has looked like this but kept the same value as that, so it has the same delay but looks different. As I said, It never used to work when you'd have it like that, but only like that, so I don't know. It's quite confusing, but now it appears to work, so I'm going to add some water and put the half slabs back. Okay, I'm fairly confident that this is going to work now, and if it does, we'll have another baby mushroom, and we've got another one in here that's probably an adult now, and that'll be the 2 extra we need to fill up all of the cells as well, which is nice. So let's get that wheat. Oh. Okay, that's actually never happened to me before when doing that, and it's no surprise that it did happen. So I guess I'm going to have to send them back round and load that guy back in. Okay, I've rearranged the breeding bay and I've put the half slabs here and removed the ones at the top. So I'm hoping that when the minecart sits down here, most of it's going to be hidden by the half slab, and I think the main thing is that you aim up like this at the white blocks rather than downwards when you're giving the animals wheat. So as well as that, I've wired up the back properly as well, and this is kind of a little bit ugly. I wanted it to be more symmetrical and simple, but the wire from this bit goes down to the bottom here and inverts this torch which controls the breeding cells. So it would be nice if I had a little bit more room between the two, but it's built now, so I'll have to find a way. And I've tested it. If we press send back, I'll do that once more. You can see at the back there the cells aren't activated, and if we do bring out, you can see the cells are being activated. So at this point I think it's a good idea to actually try and iron out as many problems as we can before we start loading in the animals again. So I've taken a look at the delay thing controlling the last breeding cell, and I think we're going to have a bit of a problem here, because the way it's done is it's controlled by this torch, and this block is powered, so it's turned off this torch, and we want to turn this torch on to activate this cell, which means we've got to unpower this block. So doing that with our own signal, we can't actually do it because we'd have to turn off the one on the other side. So I might have to change the wiring from this bit here, or come up with another way to power this piston, and I was thinking of perhaps putting a torch right here. In fact, I'm going to try that because there's a gap there. Okay, so this appeared to be a success. If I press the button here, we're going to watch this cell, and there you go, it's activated again a little while after. So we'll have to work on the timing on that, but what I did was I had to take the cell apart a little bit and then put it all back, but this block here now has a torch above it which controls that piston. So we've got the delay bit here, and when the signal comes round, it powers all of the cells, then the power travels through the delays, and a little bit after it powers just that cell. And I should probably double check that it doesn't actually power any of the other ones around it. Okay, I've tested and checked, and this torch doesn't interfere with anything else in the system, so I think the machine is almost ready to go. We need to figure out the timing for the delay and also get the wiring done nice and neatly, and then I think the breeding bay is finished. We still need to test it a bit more, and the cells are all good as well. The only problem we have now, I think, is this strange bug here, but it doesn't seem to break the machine. So next episode we're going to be loading in the animals and testing this machine a lot more, and hopefully it should be finished. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.